Shabbat Shalom. Sometimes the fiercest cries of hope rise from torment. Each day of this month of Elul, we are directed to hear the shofar. Its cry bears the wail of the ram slaughtered in Isaac's stead. Yet it resounds beyond that moment, summoning us to life. It urges us to stop, to face what we would rather ignore, to turn back toward truth. That call to see and to hear echoes in an often overlooked passage in this week's Torah portion, Shoftim. The Torah imagines a haunting scene. The corpse of a slain person lies between towns. His identity is unknown. There are no witnesses. There is no confession. The Torah commands the leaders of the nearest city to respond with a strange ritual. They must bring a young heifer into a barren valley, break its neck, wash their hands above the carcass, and then they must declare aloud, "Our hands did not shed this blood. Our eyes did not see." Centuries later, the rabbis of the Mishnah wrestle with this puzzling command. They ask, would anyone ever suspect the leaders themselves of committing murder? Or of watching a crime and shielding the guilty? Of course not. The Torah does not need to clear them from suspicion. So why must they proclaim their innocence? The rabbis reason, the ritual must mean something deeper. If leaders are called to declare, "Our eyes did not see," the issue is not whether they saw the murder happen, but whether they saw the victim before he was killed. Did this traveler pass through their town without food, without shelter, without an escort for the dangerous road? Did the leaders turn away from his hunger, his need for safety, his human dignity? The rabbis understand this ritual as enacting accountability. Responsibility does not begin and end with the murder itself. Our tradition demands more from those who govern, from those entrusted with the people's safety and well-being. By washing their hands and speaking aloud, the leaders are forced to confront deeper questions. Did we fail to notice? Did we fail to care? Their innocence depends not only on avoiding the shedding of blood, but on fulfilling their responsibility to protect life in the first place. In the face of violence, Torah gives leaders a moral mandate. Even when blood is spilled by others, they bear culpability if they have neglected their duty of care. Their task is to ensure that basic human needs are met, to guard the welfare of the vulnerable, the young and the old, the sick and the stranger, the hungry and the houseless, the captive. To look away, to delay, to fail to act leaves their hands bloody. No washing can cleanse the guilt. No denial can hide the stain. That call still echoes now. today. In Israel, the people are demanding from their leaders, see us, hear us, do not turn away. On August 17th, the hostage families spearheaded an unprecedented grassroots strike that drew nearly 500,000 people. And there are other actions happening all the time. Citizens block roads and disrupt airports, determined not to be ignored. Peace activists hold up posters of Palestinian children, reminding us that suffering and compassion have no bounds. When I'm in Israel, I am humbled to walk among the encampments where ordinary, extraordinary people from the neighborhood keep vigil all day and all night, 24 hours continually, never letting the cry for an end to the war fall silent. And they protest. Oh, do Israelis know how to protest? Even before October 7th, well before October 7th, they regularly and emphatically filled the streets, resisting a government unresponsive to its people and dangerous to democracy. And since then, week after week, month after month, crowds across the country gather in plazas and on highways. What began with tens of thousands has swelled to hundreds of thousands. They roar to their leaders, end the bloodshed, return the captives, protect life. Last week, about 1 million Israelis came together in grief and defiance. The American equivalent would be 47 million people, the entire populations of California and New Jersey combined, rising up to hold their leaders to account. And even though their demands have not been met, the resistance continues undeterred, growing in number and intensity. Yael Adar, whose son Tamir was taken hostage and murdered by Hamas, explains, "We are the water drops that wear down the stone. And something will eventually happen because we are fighting for our future. If we didn't believe it could make a difference, we wouldn't be here. This is the only way to bring them back home." The overwhelming majority of Israelis support ending the war in exchange for the hostages. The families of those trapped in Gaza are begging for it. The hundreds and thousands that march for that purpose and for other reasons as well. To remind the hostages and their families that though the government may abandon them, they are not alone. To preserve the character and the spirit of their country. To show the world that the government doesn't represent them. To stiffen the spines of U.S. and global leaders in demanding a different course forward. To find strength and to build hope with one another. And their voices call out to us, to American Jewry, urging us to express our love not by staying silent, but by joining them in their call, calling out like the shofar. My friend, Nadav Tamir, former diplomat and soldier whose children are right now fighting with the IDF, urges us to action. He says, from the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and around Israel, everyday citizens are begging their Jewish cousins in the diaspora to recognize reality. Only a deal will end the war and free the hostages. History will ask us if we did everything we could to change the course of our shared fate. Be able to say, we stood with the people, with the families, and with peace. The protesters' numbers alone inspire awe. And yet, sometimes the greatest power is not in the chorus, but in a single voice. Sylvia Cuneo, whose sons Ariel and David have been held captive in Gaza for nearly 700 days, took the microphone at the last protest, and she screamed her anguish, "Die! Enough! Enough is enough!" Then she promised what we all know from these agonizing years. A mother never gives up, she said. And she continued, and no one here is giving up on anyone. Our sages teach that the shofar blasts bear the wails of Sarah, weeping for Isaac, her child, who she believed had died under Abraham's blade. Long cries of anguish breaking into the gasping sobs of a grieving mother. Sylvia's voice is that shofar for us today. Raw, piercing, unrelenting. Refusing to be silenced, it cries, "Look! Listen! Act! Do not turn away."